Hi everyone, welcome back to Bible in a Year. My name is Natalie and today we're on day 162. Welcome to the channel. I am so happy that you're here today. We're going to be reading out of Deuteronomy chapter 22 and 23, Isaiah chapter 47, 1 Corinthians chapter 7, but only verses 14 through 24 today. And then we'll close out the day with Psalm chapter 94, only verses 1 through 3. So they might be catching us a break because Deuteronomy is going to be a little bit long. So buckle up. Here we go. We're starting with Deuteronomy chapter 22. I think I might need some water. It's going to be a long one. Here we go. You shall not see your brother's ox or his sheep go astray and hide yourself from them. You shall surely bring them again to your brother. If your brother isn't near you, or if you don't know him, then you shall bring it home to your house, and it shall be with you until your brother comes looking for it, and you shall restore it to him. So you shall do with his donkey. So you shall do with his garment. So you shall do with every lost thing of your brother's, which he has lost and you have found. You may not hide yourself. You shall not see your brother's donkey or his ox fallen down by the way, and hide yourself from them. You shall surely help him to lift them up again. A woman shall not wear men's clothing, neither shall a man put on women's clothing. For whoever does these things is an abomination to Yahweh your God. If you come across a bird's nest on the way, in any tree or on the ground, with young ones or eggs, and the hen sitting on the egg or on the eggs, you shall not take the hen with the young. You shall surely let the hen go, but the young you may take for yourself, that it may be well with you, and that you may prolong your days. When you build a new house, then you shall make a railing around your roof, so that you don't bring blood on your house if anyone falls from there. You shall not sow your vineyard with two kinds of seed, lest all the fruit be defiled, the seed which you have sown, and the increase of the vineyard. You shall not plow with an ox and a donkey together. You shall not wear clothes of wool and linen woven together. You shall make yourselves fringes on the four corners of your cloak, with which you cover yourself. If any man takes a wife and goes in to her, hates her, accuses her of shameful things, gives her a bad name, and says, I took this woman, and when I came near to her, I didn't find in her the tokens of virginity, then the young lady's father and mother shall take and bring the tokens of the young lady's virginity to the elders of the city in the gate. The young lady's father shall tell the elders, I gave my daughter to this man as his wife, and he hates her. Behold, he has accused her of shameful things, saying, I didn't find in your daughter the tokens of virginity, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. They shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. The elders of that city shall take the man and chastise him. They shall fine him 100 shekels of silver, and give them to the father of the young lady, because he has given a bad name to a virgin of Israel. She shall be his wife. He may not put her away all his days. But if this thing is true, that the tokens of virginity were not found in the young lady, then they shall bring out the young lady to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her to death with stones, because she has done folly in Israel, to play the prostitute in her father's house. So you shall remove the evil from among you. If a man is found lying with a woman married to a husband, then they shall both die. the man who lay with the woman, and the woman. So you shall remove the evil from Israel. If there is a young lady who is a virgin, pledged to be married to a husband, and a man finds her in the city and lies with her, then you shall bring them both out to the gate of that city, and you shall stone them to death with stones. The lady, because she didn't cry, being in the city, and the man, because he has humbled his neighbor's wife. So you shall remove the evil from among you. But if the man finds the lady who is pledged to be married in the field, and the man forces her and lies with her, then only the man who lay with her shall die. But to the lady you shall do nothing. There is in the lady no sin worthy of death. For as when a man rises against his neighbor and kills him, even so is this matter. For he found her in the field and pledged to be married. For he found her in the field, the pledged to be married lady cried, and there was no one to save her. If a man finds a lady who is a virgin, who is not pledged to be married, grabs her, and lies with her, and they are found, then the man who lay with her shall give the lady's father 50 shekels of silver. She shall be his wife, because he has humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. A man shall not take his father's wife, and shall not uncover his father's skirt. All right, in chapter 23. While we are going through these laws for Israel, let's try to remember that I'm just going to use this as an example because it is very, very current. A woman shall not wear men's clothing, neither shall a man put on women's clothing, for whoever does these things is an abomination to Yahweh your God. Okay, so that is a very current social issue, at least here in the United States. And what I will say about that is we will continue on and on and on and on about all the things that God would have. One of which is when you build a new house, you shall make a railing around the roof so that no one falls off your roof and dies. Do the people who are judging people wearing different clothing, do they have a railing around their house? So that's just what I would like everybody to keep in mind, that there is a lot of God saying, do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that. And that's for God to judge. We should not be judging our neighbors. We need to be looking at ourselves. And if you want to follow every single thing that's in here, go for it. But for the rest of us, that's why Jesus came. I'll tell you what, I couldn't handle it. I wear pants all the time. Oh my goodness. All right, moving on. Chapter 23. He who is emasculated by crushing or cutting shall not enter into Yahweh's assembly. A person born of a forbidden union shall not enter into Yahweh's assembly. Even to the 10th generation shall no one of his enter into Yahweh's assembly. An Ammonite or a Moabite shall not enter into Yahweh's assembly. Even to the 10th generation shall no one belonging to them enter into Yahweh's assembly forever, because they didn't meet you with bread and with water on the way when you came out of Egypt, and because they hired against you Balaam, the son of Beor, from Pethor of Mesopotamia, to curse you. Nevertheless, Yahweh your God wouldn't listen to Balaam, but Yahweh your God turned the curse into a blessing to you, because Yahweh your God loved you. You shall not seek their peace, nor their prosperity all the days forever. You shall not abhor an Edomite, for he is your brother. You shall not abhor an Egyptian, because you lived as a foreigner in his land. The children of the third generation who are born to them may enter into Yahweh's assembly. When you go out and camp against your enemies, then you shall keep yourselves from every evil thing. If there is among you any man who is not clean by reason of that which happens to him by night, then shall he go outside of the camp. He shall not come within the camp, but it shall be but it shall be when evening comes, he shall bathe himself in water. When the sun is down, he shall come within the camp. You shall have a place also outside of the camp where you go relieve yourself. You shall have a trowel among your weapons. It shall be when you relieve yourself, you shall dig with it, and shall turn back to cover your excrement. For Yahweh your God walks in the middle of your camp to deliver you, and to give up your enemies before you. Therefore your camp shall be holy, that he may not see an unclean thing in you and turn away from you. You shall not deliver to his master a servant who has escaped from his master to you. He shall dwell with you, among you, in the place which he shall choose within one of your gates, where it pleases him best. You shall not oppress him. There shall be no prostitutes of the daughters of Israel, neither shall there be a sodomite of the sons of Israel. You shall not bring the hire of a prostitute or the wages of a male prostitute into the house of Yahweh your God for any vow, for both of these are an abomination to Yahweh your God. You shall not lend on interest to your brother, interest of money, interest of food, interest of anything that is lent on interest. You may charge a foreigner interest, but you shall not charge your brother interest, that Yahweh your God may bless you in all that you put your hands to, in the land where you go in and possess it. When you vow a vow to Yahweh your God, you shall not be slack to pay it, for Yahweh your God will surely require it of you, and it would be a sin in you. But if you refrain from making a vow, it shall be of no sin in you. You shall observe and do that which has gone out of your lips. Whatever you have vowed to Yahweh your God as a freewill offering, which you have promised with your mouth, you must do. When you have come into your neighbor's vineyard, then you may eat your fill of grapes at your own pleasure, but you shall not put any in your container. When you come into your neighbor's standing grain, then you may pluck the ears with your hand, but you shall not use a sickle on your neighbor's standing grain. I have to admit, I just did that the other day. There was a grapefruit tree hanging over the fence where I was working. I saw grapefruit, and I thought about it for a minute. I kind of looked around for a minute, and I took that grapefruit right off the tree. But I didn't have a tool with me. Okay, here we go. Isaiah chapter 47. It was so good. Oh my goodness. It was half pink and half yellow. And I don't even know if it had any pulp. It was like when I sliced it open, it was just like a cup of juice. It was so good. All right, Isaiah 47. Come down and sit in the dust, virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground without a throne, daughter of the Chaldeans, for you will no longer be called tender and delicate. Take the millstone and grind flour. Remove your veil, Lift up your skirt, uncover your legs, and wade through the rivers. Your nakedness will be uncovered. Yes, your shame will be seen. I will take vengeance and will spare no one. Our Redeemer, Yahweh of armies, is his name, is the Holy One of Israel. Sit in silence and go into darkness, daughter of the Chaldeans, for you shall no longer be called the mistress of kingdoms. I was angry with my people. I profaned my inheritance and gave them into your hand. You showed them no mercy. You laid a very heavy yoke on the aged. You said, I will be princes forever. So that you didn't lay these things in your heart, nor did you remember the results. Now therefore hear this, you who are given to pleasure, who sit securely, who say in your heart, I am, and there is no one else beside me. I won't sit as a widow, neither will I know the loss of children. But these two things will come to you in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They will come on you in their full measure, in the multitude of your sorceries and the great abundance of your enchantments. For you have trusted in your wickedness. You have said, no one sees me. Your wisdom and your knowledge has perverted you, and you have said in your heart, I am, and there is no one else besides me. Therefore, disaster will come on you. You won't know when it dawns. Mischief will fall on you. You won't be able to put it away. Desolation will come on you suddenly, which you don't understand. Stand now with your enchantments and with the multitude of your sorceries, in which you have labored from your youth, as if you might profit, as if you might prevail. You are wearied in the multitude of your counsels. Now let the astrologers, the stargazers, and the monthly prognosticators stand up and save you from the things that will happen to you. I'm going to try and read that over again. Verse 13. You are wearied in the multitude of your counsels. Now let the astrologers, the stargazers, and the monthly prognosticators stand up and save you from the things that will happen to you. Behold, they are like stubble. The fire will burn them. They won't deliver themselves from the power of the flame. It won't be a coal to warm at or a fire to sit by. The things that you labored in will be like this. Those who have trafficked with you from your youth will each wander in his own way. There will be no one to save you. All right. And just think about that. 1Corinthians7, 14 through 24. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified in the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified in the husband. Otherwise your children would be unclean, but now they are holy. Yet if the unbeliever departs, let there be separation. The brother or the sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God has called us in peace. For how do you know, wife, whether you will save your husband? Or how do you know, husband, whether you will save your wife? Only as the Lord has distributed to each man, as God has called each, so let him walk. So I command in all the assemblies. Was anyone called having been circumcised? Let him not become uncircumcised. Has anyone been called in uncircumcision? Let him not be circumcised. Circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing. But what matters is keeping God's commandments. Let each man stay in that calling in which he was called. Were you called being a bondservant? Don't let that bother you. But if you get an opportunity to become free, use it. For he who was called in the Lord being a bondservant is the Lord's free man. Likewise, he who was called being free is Christ's bondservant. You were bought with a price. Don't become a bondservant of men. Brothers, let each man, in whatever condition he was called, stay in that condition with God. Because there are so many times I would love to do more. All right. Meaning, I would love to do more, but I will stay and do where I am. Psalm chapter 94, verses 1 through 3. Yahweh, you God to whom vengeance belongs, you God to whom vengeance belongs, shine out. Rise up, you judge of the earth. Pay back the proud what they deserve. Yahweh, how long will the wicked triumph? How long? Oh, thank you everybody for stopping by. This was a wonderful day today. I am so happy that you were here. I sure hope you find comfort in these words and things to think about. Deuteronomy is incredibly dry, but I, as a person who absolutely loves history, I am very interested in what God would have for Israel back in the day. And I am just completely and totally aware that there's no way I could have done it. And what a tragedy that would have been, because I love him. I love God, and I know that he loves me. And there's no way that I could have managed everything that he would have me do. I'm weak. And so that's why he sent Jesus. And I am so thankful that he did, because through Jesus I know that I am saved, and you can know that through Jesus you are also saved, and that there is nothing that can separate God's love from him and from us. So thank you guys for stopping by. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow for day 163. Bye.